Good morning and welcome to the VSA Capital 5-Minute Morning Miner on Wednesday, the 6th of July, halfway through the week, hump day. Morning, Paul. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm still in Cornwall. It's a bit cloudy today, going to remain a bit cloudy all day, I think. Maybe a day for a bit of WFC, working from Cornwall. Anyway, let's quickly look at the news today. Actually, before we get on the news, let's just talk a little, because the news is all a bit scrappy today. Talk a little bit in general, Paul. I mean, I think commodity prices have come back very sharply. I mean, some of the commodities like nickel, copper, even gold now trading at 1769. They've come back more sharply than I think most people would have expected, probably because banks around the world have put the dampeners on and consumer demand is being squeezed. But we've also seen stocks come back very severely. Some of the junior mining stocks have fallen, really quite dramatically. And we've got things like, it's Rio has fallen and yielding so-called 14%. Glencore's fallen, yielding so-called 10%. Obviously, we don't know whether they will pay the dividends, but there's no reason why not. I mean, it feels to me, Paul, and I'd be interested in your views, that maybe the commodities have fallen so hard and maybe slightly overdone, and actually now is an interesting buying opportunity in general for the commodity market. What's your view, Paul?
Yes, I think so. Particularly the speed of the declines that we've been seeing across the markets here, both on the commodity prices themselves, but also the equity sell-offs would suggest to me that we're into a bottoming phase here at this point. I think the speed too will cause the U.S. Fed perhaps to be a little less aggressive in this next interest rate round decision coming up here in July. At least I hope so. It was 75 basis points last time, but if they can demonstrate to the market that they're satisfied that the current interest rate changes they've made to date are having the desired effect, that'll help put some support back on the market here.
I mean, I think in particular in sort of critical and battery materials, the actual fundamentals haven't changed. We're still going through a transitional energy revolution. We still got to think more about supply in the Western world rather than from Russia and China. So it does feel as though there's a bit of a buying opportunity here, even though it feels awful. And I saw tweets yesterday saying the super cycle is over. No, maybe the super cycle isn't over. Maybe we just had a bit of a pause and a setback. Now's the buying opportunity. Anyway, that's a little bit of a macro view. What stocks would you like to talk about today, Paul? Because it is a little bit itsy-bitsy all over the place.
Well, the big news in mining came out after our podcast yesterday, and that was on the North American markets where Hecla Mining has moved to acquire the TSX-listed Yukon silver lead zinc developer Alexco. This part of a deal for 47 cents per Alexco common share, which is a 23% premium on the five-day moving average price. Notice they used a 5-day price there because of the softness of commodity equity stocks here at this point, which was, I thought, interesting. So they're definitely keeping an eye on that closely. Wheaton Precious Metals has participated in support of this deal because they've offered to cancel the existing silver stream on the Keno Hill deposit that Alexco has for $135 million payment in Hecla shares. So outlook from most people I've talked to about it says that Alexco was experiencing difficulty in the mine development there at Keno Hill. So they needed somebody to step in essentially in order to backstop them on financial support. And Hecla is the party that's stepped in to do it. But I think the big winner here on this deal is Wheaton, because I think Wheaton got that silver stream a few years back for only $50 million or so, and now they're monetizing that at $135 million in more liquid Hecla shares. So they're the big winner, I think.
Always nice to have a big winner, and I think actually again we may well see more, and we've talked about it a few times, more M&A activity in the space. Just because there will be some slightly weaker players which can be acquired by the bigger players to make them even stronger. And it's a great time for M&A activity at the moment. So watch out for more of that, both in the big stocks and I think perhaps in the juniors. Some juniors may say, you know what, better to try and 1 + 1 = 3 than to carry on bashing our heads against a wall. Okay. Anything else you want to mention, Paul?
Yeah, first off, the Zimbabwe government has approved continuing use of the US dollar as part of their legal tender currency on a dual currency basis for a further 5 years. And they're also going to start minting a legal tender gold coin that they will actually have available in circulation if a party or private party so desires to either stockpile it as a bullion coin or to actually trade with it if they choose to. Part of this reason being the inflationary pressures of and the lack of currency liquidity in Zimbabwe is just so bad at the moment, with the June inflation here in that country at 192%.
And you thought we had it bad in the UK. That really does tell you something, doesn't it? 192% inflation. We all know that Zimbabwe has always been a hotbed of inflation, and the Zimbabwe currency has struggled. You can be a trillionaire, I think, in Zimbabwe, and actually only be worth about £1. Okay, one more, Paul, just to wrap up.
Yes, here, and that is, I thought I would mention East Star Resources. You know, that was one I picked out from Mines and Money just a couple of weeks back. They just completed their EM geophysical survey on their Rudny Alte VMS belt licenses in East Kazakhstan. And the key point there is it's nice to see the efficiency use of money. They completed the survey in less time and with less money than they had budgeted for.
Well done then. Okay, let's call it a day there, and we'll be back tomorrow for more news and views.
Very good. See you then.